How we doing?
Doesn't seem like you need a chair, do you? It looks like you're moving around pretty well out there.
Oh yeah, we stacking days. We getting better. It's been a long process, but we got a great team of people. So I am feeling good, but I'm not where I need to be. But we working every day.
Is there a point in the process where you felt like you turned a corner and you were optimistic about getting back to 100%?
Yeah, I mean I've been here 3 times before, so I kind of knew the flow of things and what I should be expecting. And it's always frustrating in the beginning, but as you keep pushing, keep rehabbing every day, you'll break through a wall, and everything start feeling better. You'll feel more functional. It's just a feel thing. So
When you say you've been here 3 times before, what do you mean specifically?
I've hurt my back.
Just injuries?
Yeah.
You didn't have another procedure?
Nah, I've had two. I can't really have a third one. So
Did you consider retiring at any point? If so, how close did you?
hell no, and no. I put in too much work. I haven't put my best ball on tape yet. So this is my life. This is what I do. You know.
Kyle's mentioned how tricky it is to manage this stuff. How do you sort of manage your expectations, and what are your expectations?
My expectations is to be a little bit better than I was the day before. That's hard to do. And then once I get there, then I'll start stacking on top of, making my weaknesses my strengths. You know what I mean? So it's part of sports.
You mentioned a breakthrough. Would that come around the time that you renegotiated your contract, or was it after that?
No. It was just, it's been like, almost a year now. So I can't really remember, that time frame, where it's so long ago. It's just, and it's all subjective as far as what you mean, as far as breakthrough. I never really lost my ability to do anything. It was really just, getting my back, where it needs to be so I can hit people. So, we're just gonna keep working. The breakthrough is gonna be when I get sacks.
Kyle's kind of referred to your injury as a moving target. Has it been pain in different areas in your back? Or do you know what you would mean by that?
Yeah, it's actually a great analogy. At first, we wasn't sure. Usually with back situations, it's pretty common to herniate a L5, but we wasn't sure if it was a disc problem, was it a chronic problem. It was a little bit of everything. So we just got a great team of doctors. We got a great team of trainers, rehab coordinators. So we kind of just took everything, one step at a time. And as new things came up, we just handled it right there. You know what I mean?
So what was an average day of rehab like for you? What kind of stuff were you doing?
With any back, the typical or spine situation is all mobility and stability. That sounds simple, but it's just a bunch of core work, a bunch of stretching. You just got to do the right things and kind of ride the wave. You're going to have good days, bad days. You just got to ride the wave. Most people will get frustrated and they will let it go. So,
How did you not get frustrated?
I mean, if you love the game, I love what I do. I got a great support team. My family is great. I had no excuses. As long as I could keep doing it, as long as I wasn't risking anything, I was going to give it a shot. That's how I go. That's how I roll.
Is that risk? Does it in the back of your head?
Nah, I mean, because everything that we do is safe. Everything that we do is checkpoints. We're not just stepping out on the field taking a risk. Like, hey, just see what you can do. There's a long process. We've seen a bunch of doctors. We have had a bunch of evaluations, MRIs. We have great people, a lot of great people involved. So we're not just throwing things at the wall hoping they stick.
When you started camp and you were working on the side with Nick Bosa as Nick does his recovery,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys talk at all about trying to get back to the level you were at in 2019?
Yeah and no. We don't really like to look back at 2019 because that D-line is different. We stay on the field, everything would take care of itself. Me and him just going to build off of what we started really in training camp last year. We just want to build off of that. and just stay on the field, just stay healthy.
How much better is Mike McGlinchey to go against this year since he's added a little bit more strength?
Mike has always been great. I've always had to bring my A game against Mike, so the added strength that's definitely going to help him in the regular, and it's going to make me work a little bit more to really get my pad level down because he can't anchor a lot more now. So Mike is going to be great, man.
One thing Nick said about his recovery is that it was really tough for him because the way he felt physically impacted the way he felt mentally, just in terms of not being able to function as he normally would. Did you go through something similar? And just given your experience with the back injuries, were you able to use any of that to say, okay, eventually I'm going to get there? Or just what was that mental process like for you?
Yeah, when we had to go to Arizona and we was in the hotel, that really hit me at that time. And really it was having to look my teammates in the eyes, and I really couldn't help. Couldn't do anything, and just being down in the. I mean, you're gonna go through. That's part of physical therapy and being injured with any athlete. You're gonna go through some dark times, but that's why we are who we are. You just gotta keep going. You gotta fight through it. Small wins help you along the way, though. Once one thing starts to feel better, it's just like, okay, I'm good. Then the next thing gonna happen, So you just keep riding that wave. And breakthrough is the word we've been using. So one day you would have a breakthrough. That's just what it is. It's the name of the game.
Did music help you? I know.
Music always helps. You know what I mean?
More so though than maybe normal.
Nah, I wouldn't say more than normal. Just the people around me. People around me, my family, my coaches. Just got to be tunnel vision. I journal and all that, so I'm pretty good spiritually. That really helps me, with a lot of stress. It's a stressful job for everybody, so I got a bunch of tools in the toolbox that help me.
I'm sure you don't want to get super specific about exactly what was going on, but it was described by John and Kyle, at least initially, as an upper back, and I think reportedly your other two issues were more lower back. Was this in some ways much different when you dealt with in the past?
Well, I actually learned something new. Yes, we did think it was the upper spine, but it's all connected. And being that the issue started with the lower, it affected the upper. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a chain effect. Once one thing starts to be affected, it starts to compensate up top. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it did start up top. At least we thought it was initially. But like I said, we did a lot of testing. Just ran down the line, checked every box, found problems, got solutions.
A couple more guys. I'm assuming, because it was like right after week one, I'm assuming that at that point they're not like, hey, D, you're going to miss the last 15 games. What was the process? I mean, were there through that time where you're like, maybe I can get back in a couple weeks, and then were you talking about Arizona?
Yeah, initially when it happened, it came out of nowhere. I just woke up and just felt a little pulling in areas that it shouldn't have been, it's not safe to kind of try to push through. Initially, we thought it was just a bunch of inflammation, tightening around those areas, so we just wanted to calm it down. Initially it was 4 or 5 weeks, but then that turned into 10 weeks, then it turned into 15. So we actually, as things progressed, we just kind of found out that this thing is going to take a little longer than we expected. So, but we got it done.
Did you journal during the previous back injuries, and if so, did you kind of go back and reread what your thoughts were?
Yeah, I did. I've always journaled. I didn't really have to go back. I got a kind of a really good photographic memory, so I kind of remember the things that I did. And my first one was all the way back in 2011 when I was in college. So I still remember the day that it happened in college. I remember how everything happened, how everything was slow. It was progressive. It wasn't anything just kind of just impactful. It was just kind of a slow, progressive thing that happened. So. And each time that it's happened, it's all happened the same. It's just very slow. It was kind of just a chain effect. So I kind of know the wave, kind of know where I got to start doing. And, it's hard. Most people can't come back from it, but I've came back 4 times now.
Do teammates
So.
talk to
Last
you
one.
about this kind of stuff? Do you have these conversations about mental health and ways, tools in your toolbox? That kind of stuff?
I'll be honest, we do, but I feel like we should talk about it more. I think I have a great agency. I have a great family. So the people around me we always check up on each other. So that's one thing we don't really, take for granted is our mental health. So I really haven't had any issues with that. But yes, we do talk, but we should talk a little bit more.
Thank you, D.
Yep. Thank y'all.
Did you enjoy that video? Make sure to check out these other ones.